You learn to smell when an answer is too perfect, or the data is too smooth. What is something you are 100% sure people lie about? When you ask them, "How's it going?" and they say it's going well. My friend asked me just now and I replied that it was pretty great. Spoiler alert, it was in fact, not pretty great. People just don't want to burden their friends. Everything on the internet. Every comment on the internet is a lie, including this video. When you click "I have read and understood the terms and conditions." I remember the first time I went on the internet as a kid. It was maybe 2000. I had to agree to the terms and conditions of the site before I could register. It was a kid's site, Harry Potter, maybe? So it told me to print it off and hand it to an adult. Me and my mom sat at the kitchen table and read through it. She was trying to teach me never sign anything you haven't thoroughly read through. The next time I signed up for a site she said, "Oh, just agree to it." I'm tired. Somebody replied, "I'm a legal professional, and even I don't bother reading terms and conditions on websites. It would cost me considerably less time than the average user to read and understand it all, but in the end it's futile. There's nothing I can do if I disagree, because that means I can't use the website. And even though it would take me less time than average, it would still cost me a lot of time. Those things are long." Somebody's number of ex-partners. It's one of those strange things where half of the people are lying and making the number higher, and the other half are lying and making it lower. Why someone is late. It's funny, having been trained and worked in the sciences, to see how reporting failure is standard. Lying about failures will get you into a lot of trouble. You learn to smell when an answer is too perfect, or the data is too smooth. And then you take action. All my co-workers have kids. They just give the real story about why they're late and move on. Headache, didn't want to get out of bed is common, and I believe them. Their income. So many lies. I work at a place where I verify people's income. I have to get a rough estimate and then verify to an exact figure later. It's less than 1 in 20 who don't overestimate. I got people on fixed income telling me they make $3,000 when their check is the exact same every month for $1,250. Knowing I'm going to verify it. Like, bro, stop. Somebody replied, "This is hilarious to me. I work in public education, and my salary and benefits package are public knowledge by law. Anyone who knows me can plug my name into our state database and pull up my pay. My students regularly ask how much I make. I tell them to Google it, as it's public knowledge. They lose their minds when they see how much their teachers make. Some of the 30-year veterans are making over $100 K before benefits, while all of the new teachers are making under $50 K. The kids get super confused why some of the more energetic and fun teachers make so much less than the old people. I am not a robot. Like, come on guys, it's not funny anymore." The stability of their relationships. You'll notice the people with the worst relationships will always be posting pictures and lovey stuff on social media. Whereas those with good relationships are too busy living their best life with their partner and too busy to really post anything. My wife and I used to post a lot about our good times, but then we hit a really dark period and we had nothing nice to say about each other. We're much more solid now, but we never post about each other anymore. Somebody replied, "Couples who flaunt their love always weirded me out, but even more so when I got married. Why would I take time to make a post telling everyone how much I love this man when I can just walk into the other room and let him know?" Picking their nose. Dentist, how often do you floss? Me, avoiding eye contact. I think it was a week ago? Somebody replied, when he asks me, I'm like, dude, you were there. Flat earthers are people who believe that the earth is not round. I understand that I am wrong and that some people actually believe this, but my brain cannot comprehend how anyone could buy into this theory. I have an immediate reaction of, you don't actually believe that, no one's that stupid, you're trolling. How much money their side hustle makes them. I had a co-worker who regularly bragged about his side hustle and how much it made him. He said that he and his girlfriend coded web advertisements for local businesses. I found out later that his actual side hustle was stealing electronics from the store and reselling them. Somebody replied, "The biggest issue I've noticed with this is with stock market day traders. I used to be in a group chat with my friends and they would always post their wins and make it seem like they were 50+% up in a month while arguing their investment style is superior. Later on, 1 to 2 months later, someone asks what everyone's all-time percent gain is and these people who were making hundreds of dollars today are somehow up $50 in the year on an account with 5 figures to invest. I'm young, so it was always the kids who didn't work for their money and were just given it by their parents. Parents that say they don't have a favorite child. I'm pretty sure I was the favorite, if not in a good way then definitely in a sense of, I'm gonna have them do everything and her siblings can sit there doing nothing. My mom swears up and down she gave all 3 of us equal length chore lists but she didn't. My siblings got stuff like take out the garbage, vacuum living room, while mine were always filled with wash dishes, scrub stove, clean front porch, clean bathroom, shovel sidewalk and driveway, rake leaves, mow lawn every time. A friend even commented on it once, so I know it wasn't entirely in my head. Somebody replied, "It was always my turn to do the dishes. If either of my sisters were told it was their turn, they'd just claim they did it last so I would be told to do them. It didn't matter who actually did them, it was my turn 3 out of 4 times they got washed. Now I live with one of my sisters who always did it last time, and she has never once loaded the dishwasher. She also rarely hangs a new toilet paper roll, and when she does, she hangs it backwards. She's never cleaned either bathroom." I'm a farmer, and this is one of my pet peeves: crop yields. It's expected that every farmer you talk to will lie about how well their crops did. When you meet an honest one who tells you their actual yields, it's a really awkward conversation because you're taken back by the fact you don't have to apply the poop factor to figure out what his yields really were. I have a neighbor who always wants to know your yields first and then automatically applies a 10% increase to his. I don't even think he realizes he's doing it, but it's always reliably 10% more than yours. The way crop insurance works in our area is that farmers report their actual yields, they have to show receipts for delivered grain, and those averages are made available to other farmers like us who want to buy insurance. Comparatively, our yields are always just a bit higher than average, but I'm always the worst farmer in the area when they, "How did your crops do this year?" conversation starts. When people say you can become a millionaire like me, get my 5-step program and you'll be pulling in 20,000 or more a day. Step 1. Sell money-making plans to suckers. How busy they are. Everyone at every job I ever had has never stopped talking about how busy they are. It's like, have you people ever been busy in your life? I will show you what busy looks like. Taking 2-hour lunch breaks, and commenting on open questions at 9:30 a.m. I'm not addicted. I can stop whenever I want. I tell myself that I'm not addicted to YouTube, but I am a habitual user. I managed to go a few months without using it and it was nice, but when the chronic boredom sets in, I wind up watching TTS AFK. My 5-year-old saying she washed her hands. Somebody replied, "When I was a kid I realized I was getting caught because the sink hadn't run, and then got paranoid. I run the sink, then realized they might notice my dry hands. I put a little water on my hands, then realized they might notice the dry soap. I got a bit of water on the soap, then realized the towels were dry. I put more water on my hands and dry them with the soap. And eventually I realized that I was literally doing every step of washing my hands, except I wasn't getting clean, so I said stuff it and just started washing." This might sound cold, but I think most people don't even take time to think about what they're committing to when they encourage damaged people to be more upfront about their problems. Having a miserable person around isn't a good feeling, but solving their problems feels good. That's where I think most people stop thinking. It's great to want to help people, but be prepared for them to take you up on your offer, and likely with a situation you weren't prepared for. It's not really lying, but it's not really being honest with the person, nor yourself. You're just not reading the terms and conditions to a person, so you can move things along. How little sleep people get. I feel like people compete to act like they get 30 minutes of sleep a week when that's not the case. Somebody replied, I never understood this. It's like bragging about how miserable you are. I sleep whenever I possibly can because I love sleeping. I do have trouble sleeping sometimes and I will let people know I didn't get enough sleep because that makes me very irritable, definitely not acting like I should get an award for not sleeping. What things are the parent's choice and what things are the kid's choice? 9 times out of 10 I know it is the parent pushing it and not the kid. I'm not talking about basic interests and hobbies, but where the parent insists that they wanted X and the child demanded Y, which is usually something extra high level achieving. Example, injured child competed at a school sports event. Parent says, I wanted to keep him home, but he just insisted on being there. He really should rest the injury, but you can't hold him back. Meanwhile child is telling other kids that he doesn't want to be there but parent is making him. Another example, I think she's taking on too much, but she said she had yes to do this extra music lesson. We said no for a long time, but she kept pleading, and she worked it all out so that she could still study and fit it in, so we're trying to go along with it. Meanwhile child is telling others that she hates said lesson but mum insists on her going. Somebody replied, my Pinewood Derby staff back in grade school was a good example of this. Absolute trash cars that looked like trash and had a beaming kid present them for the weigh-in? Made by the kid. Car that looked like it had finite element analysis done on it being presented by a bored-looking kid whose dad is bragging about the $1,000 graphite lubricant the wheels have? The weigh-in is probably the first time the kid has ever even touched it. Their productivity levels. If you're not busy, you're not a good person. This really bothers me. I think people who have this mindset project their own feelings onto others and call you unproductive or lazy when they're the ones who are unhappy with their inability to find a balance in life. Somebody replied, they're just projecting their sunk cost fallacy. I've put so much time and effort into work, therefore I must be happy. Meanwhile, the guy who does less work and goes out of his way to enjoy his personal time must be unhappy or wrong, because otherwise it'd invalidate my work. Steroid abuse in the fitness industry. This is a big one. So many people who say they're natural are juicing. The answer looks to be juice pretty much every time. Somebody replied, there are so many people telling you they're natural in order to sell their awful product to you when in fact they got their gains from taking steroids and not from drinking super mega mass gainer but Slope 9000 priced at £700 per half kilo that contains mostly sugar and caffeine. Steroid use is so incredibly widespread it's screwing up the image of what is and isn't realistically possible for so many vulnerable people out there. Walk into any gym and the biggest guy there is most likely taking steroids. The I totally quit my job like a barda stories. I clicked on the one of the poster's post history and he posted screenshots of him quitting 9 jobs in 12 days. Each post had thousands of likes. I messaged the mods about the clearly fake posts and they banned and muted me. It's straight up creative writing. I doubt that guy has ever had a job. He's probably 13. Thank you for watching till the end. We are back to daily uploads from today, so stay tuned for more. And let me know in the comments what you think people lie about.